Hello everybody, Chaz Large back with another Fix It video, and look what we've got on the bench today. We've got another one of these Sony tape decks. One of these brilliant 3-head tape decks. It's a TCK-611S. One of these, I've done 2 of these before. This is the 3rd one, and the last time I did one I actually bought a second set of belts, etc. So I'm ready for that. Customer saw a previous video, got in touch, asked if I could have a look at this one. He says you can hear the motor running but nothing's happening. So we know what's going to be inside, don't we? Lots of black sticky gooey stuff. Okay, let's get inside. Run titles. Right, so here we are inside, and if I switch to the old close-up cam, you can see in there, apologies for the flickering, the extra light I've got doesn't always, it's an LED light but doesn't run at mains frequency, funnily enough, so it gives a little bit of a flicker. But we can see in here the gooey mess that is the belt. Yep, that's what it is. That's what we've got to take it apart and clean it all off. Yuck. I love these jobs, but I hate them as well. So if you remember the last time we did one of these, I should get the light out of the way. All we need to do is remove 4 screws. That's the 2 on the top. And so we're just taking the 2 screws on the top. I forgot to switch the camera over, apologies. And then we've got 2 screws down here, conveniently marked with a, I think my screwdriver's not strong enough to do that one. Ooh, a bit of a tough one, that one. And this one. Got nice little arrows on here to show these are the screws to undo. And the ones underneath are threaded, whereas the ones on the top are self-tapping. Actually, the ones on the top are threaded as well. They're normally self-tapping, I'm sure. Anyway, obviously you can't open the carriage because it's driven by that, so the way to do it is to just gently pull it back a little bit, lifting up the top of the mechanism, and then as you lean it back it will come out. So best to undo all the wires from the plugs. They usually come out quite easily. Normally I don't like pulling plugs out with just holding the wires, but these are usually okay because they're well crimped into the little bits of the socket. So if we just gently ease the front mechanism, front cabinet away, it should be enough to lift the mech up, enough to pull it back. Like so. And when you come to put it back together, you won't have the just untangle the wires, cable ties getting in the way. You won't have the front door on, so you can leave that, you can take that off once you've got the mechanism out. I'm already getting covered in gunk. The other thing you need to do is unplug the 2 sockets for the heads, and they normally come out if you can grip hold of those. Let's see if we can grip hold of them with the pliers rather than the wires. Nope. Why isn't that coming out? Okay, use a little bit of screwdriver leverage into the socket to twist it. Oh, this one's being a little bit, there we go. There we go. And then you've also got a cable tie there. Oh, and you've got the erase head to remove as well. There we are. So the whole mechanism should now be free to come out. And making sure you're not putting gunk everywhere. You can put the mechanism to one side, the chassis to one side, get it right. So what we need to do now, first off now, is to just remove the front door, which, if my memory serves me right, just slides up. Yep. Okie dokie. So now we can work on that without damaging the nice customer bit, but then we can see on the flywheel, there's all that gunk. The drive belt is just stuck to it, and inside, as we pointed out earlier on, down there as well. So just release this cable, tie it down here a little bit, unscrew this back plate. Get a little tray for these. Two black ones and then a long gaudy coloured one here. And that relieves this plate with the motor. And then again, unplugging the motor from the board. I'll use my plug pullers in there. So we have the pulley on the top of the motor to clean off. In fact, almost all the belt is on there, I think. We've got the capstan flywheel, and the capstan flywheel has also got typical cracks in it. I'm not sure quite why these do this, but perhaps somebody can explain why these aluminium things, they crack. Or it could be that I can clean this up and the whole of the flywheel falls apart. So I'm going to have to be very careful with that. But to get the flywheel out, I've got to take a little circlip off, which is in there. And the best way of doing that is to have the cassette door open, which my memory serves me correctly, we have to release the catch, which is there. There it is. And then gently allow it to come up, because it's part of the mechanism is winding it. And we have to do that through the big gear wheel there. Is it that way? I might have done that. That's the get out. Why isn't that springing open? There's a reason why it's not springing open. Well, doesn't matter so much. I can actually get in there with a fine screwdriver and release that circlip. As I pull the capstan out, it should just come away. There we go. So it comes away. So you can just see the capstan, and I can get a pair of tweezers in there to rescue that plastic split washer before it disappears. There it is. And there's the capstan. Oh, there's another little washer there that goes on before the circlip. So that seems to be fairly clean, but there it does feel uneven. I think this flywheel is going to work, but it's going to be wobbly. Let's put it like that. Let's have a look at this motor spindle, see if we can just grab hold of a big bit of gunk with the paper towel before we do anything more. Get the absolute worst off. I think that's going to be as clean as we're going to get it. That one. 2 down. Nasty one to go. That's this one down here. So we've got to now take this mechanism off, which involves taking out the screw. So another little tray. And then this screw. And then I've got to remember which bits come away. Yeah, it's that one, that one, that one. And that one. And I'm pretty sure, oh, look at that, just spotted a big load of gunk. Glad I spotted that before it got me. And then the last screw is this one here. And then we have to gently remind myself how this is done, because it's, oh dear, there's a lever. I'm pretty sure there's a lever that's interacting with it, but I can't remember where it is or whether it's. Oh yes, of course, we have to remove something from behind there, don't we? It's been a while. So we have to take get rid of those for the spread the goo. Yeah, we have to take, I suppose what I should do is watch one of my own videos and remind myself, because we have to there's a, oh yeah, the deck mechanism is wound up, so we want the deck mechanism wound back out. Release the catch. Something that's not as free as it was, but I can't remember why. Something's getting caught on something somewhere. I don't remember having to remove this lever, but it looks like that's the cause of it. Just can't seem to get hold of it. Oh, I can grab it with a pliers, this spring. Oh dear, come on. Let's try this end. Yeah, that end's gone off a lot better. Release the catch on that. Yeah, so by releasing that spring and then releasing that little lever, I can now open the door wide, and then put the spring with there, and then we can get the 2 screws on this plate in here undone. 1, 2, and then this reflector plate, backing plate, whatever you want to call it. It's probably got a name, but it just lifts out and then moves up slightly. I'm sure it does. There you go. You have to release the catch lever there, and that comes up. It's got an LED panel behind it to light up where the cassette goes, so you have to just be careful with that. So once you've got that out, so you can now get at the idler, which is just here, and being careful not to lose it flying across the workshop. A nice small flat bladed screwdriver underneath the little split washer, pop it in, twist it and push it, but keep your finger on it, otherwise they tend to fly away. So just gently, yep, and see how it flew. Luckily it went sideways and I was able to catch it. And then this little idler will come off the top from there. So once you've got that idler off, this will all drop out there, and yes, you get a little lever that pops out as well. But I know where that goes, so it's okay. And one of the pulleys has fallen out as well. So yes, things will fall out and you get yourself covered in goo. again. Right, well, bit of a disaster taking it apart that way. I should have run back and watched what I did last time I did one of these, which was to crank the gears on here to get the cassette door open, and I just totally forgot about that, and that's why I took that pin out and got the door open that way. But you don't need to take this bit off, this bit here at all. You don't need to take that, or the spring in fact that comes with it. So you can do it just purely by turning this gear and it will release it, but you have to get your finger in there and it can be a bit tight. But I just forgot that. Yeah, you do things so often, and it comes as second nature, but I haven't done one of these for quite some time, so that's why, forgive me, and I'm getting old. There we are. Anyway, right, so we are at this other part here, which we've now got to clear up the pulley, and there's a good old pulley with a load of gunk on it. Already I've got gunk on my fingers, so let's see if we can just scrape out most of that if we can to start off with, and I think we're going to be a little bit lucky getting a big blob of this out with just a screwdriver. And unlike, I mean, I looked at the last one that I worked at, and it showed quite a lot of gunk actually underneath the pulley there. So thankfully this one's not got that, it's just got gunk on the pulley. But you do need to get all this out, because if you leave some of this rubber in the slot here, it could potentially react with the rubber of a new belt that you're going to put in there. So I always make sure I get absolutely the pulley clean. And I clean my fingers as well, often, because it gets everywhere. The next thing you know, you've put it somewhere and you're going to reassemble it and you realise you've got another load of it. And in fact, we can see on this one where that actually a load of it, the gunk has got onto this pulley here, so I'm going to have to take these off and clean that one thoroughly. So that's that all cleaned up. There's no more on there. Let's put that out of the way. Just check anything that comes out. Make sure there's no gunk that's been sprayed around. That's all done. It was just this bit here, wasn't it, that we got stuff. Oh, no, it is. Of course, it's not a tyre, is it? It's the actual pulley itself. Now, just for getting into this edge, taken a tissue, folded it a couple of times to give a nice sharp edge, coat it in isopropyl, and it gets into the bits that cotton buds can't reach. So there we have a nice clean pulley. We've got a few little bits, that geary bit, but there we have a nice clean pulley. Okie dokie. So the gear went on top, didn't it? Yeah. And that gear goes on top of that one, like so. That turns that around. Like so, and then this lever sits. Where does it do? It sits on there, doesn't it? I'm pretty sure on there, is it? Yeah. Is it on that way around? Right, I've got the mechanism all back together, having looked at my previous video. I'll put a link wherever it is up there to the previous video at this point, so that you'll be able to see you know, the alignment. But very briefly, if you keep this main wheel at this point, keep this lever with it engaged in this bar that goes across the bottom, it has a tendency to jump out, so you just need to make sure that the pins go there and there into those two on that post there. Okay, so that's the position there that you want to start off with, and the system switch, which is here, you'll notice that there is an arrow on the rotary bit inside and a bar on the outside, and that's the alignment position for when you reassemble that to there, because that little spigot there has got to engage with that slot there. Okay, when you come to reassemble it. Now when you come to push it back together, it's going to be a bit difficult because this is all pressing here, pushing things up. So there's no alignment position for these. This just sort of sits like this, but it is sprung loaded, so it just makes reassembly difficult. But before you put this bit back on that bit, you need to put your drive belt on this pulley, otherwise you'll never get it on, because this top of the spigot of that pulley goes into the little hole here at the top. So you just need to take that little gear out, get your new drive belt, pop it on there, just drop it down, because you're going to be using a hook or something to actually hook it onto the pulley of the motor. So don't worry about trying to fiddle it, because you'll never do it. I've tried. You'll never get this together and holding the thing. You've got to put it together first and then put the belt on later. Now what some people do, and it is feasible that it was a manufacturer's way of doing things, was to actually hook the belt on that pulley and then pull it across there on that spigot there, and so that just as you drop it down you can then pick it in. I've done that in the past, and usually I've found it gets so far and I tried to do it and then suddenly it springs off and it's nowhere near the right position. So I'm going to try it again today to see if I can actually get it to work. Alright, so that's alignment that, and I'll just check inside there, make sure that the mode switch is aligned with that little spigot there. Yeah, okay. So push that down, and sometimes it just sort of sits a bit proud and you can't get the screws in, they don't seem to be long enough, but just try and you push it down and you will find that it will go. Doesn't seem to be held in place much, but as soon as the mechanism starts to move, it just drops down a little bit. Okay, now this is where I find that doing that little method with the pin doesn't necessarily work all that well, because it's so difficult to get at like that. So you just want to just partly get these screws in so that they grab a little bit. You don't need to tighten them right up, because now you've got the belt in there, you've got to get the belt, use my pointer again, So you've got the belt which is on this spigot up here, but that spigot is actually holding up against the top of this, so you've got to get that on there. I use I've had it for many years, a little set of tools for holding springs and things, and I find this one of these to be most useful when putting drive belts on in awkward positions. So basically you get the drive belt Right, the sound's going to be a little bit awkward on here because the microphone, my microphone that I'm wearing, the battery had gone flat and I hadn't noticed because I had something else on the screen. Anyway, so I'm recording from a microphone way over there. So we're now into the position where we're ready to put this mechanism back in the chassis and give it a bit of a test. So getting it under the wires that are floating around here. I mean, sometimes it's easier to actually unplug the wires. But quite often you don't need to. You can jiggle past them quite merrily. Probably a bit trapped them, be fine. I may redub this sound if it's awful. So apologies in advance. Oh no 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 no. No, 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 we're not ready to go back into the chassis, are we? Silly boy. Because we haven't put that plate back. I'm looking at the pair of screws on the desk, on the bench, and thinking, where are those screws from? Of course it's this plate. It's an illuminator plate. Put that back first. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Half-assed job I'm doing here. Not one of the best jobs I've ever done. So let's open this mechanism up. And get to the plate. The plate comes around there and drops down onto two little pins in there. So, and then some screws. I'd be so dumb not to put that back on. Handling it all the time, maybe you should realise what I've been doing. And the other thing I haven't done, dear Large, what are you doing? You're not putting things back properly. I think we are all back together. That's interesting, a nice cable tie. Yes! And the door that shuts and opens again. Let's get some sounds. YouTube test tape for tones. Let's get some sockets into here. Amplifier is on. Go to aux 2. YouTube music. Play. I think we're done. I think we've managed to fix this. So we just need to test for recording and playback speed. So let's see. Let's get the old scope on. Turn it on, it'll work a lot better. Right. Have a lot of noise. Should be able to see now. That's not particularly brilliant, is it? You can just about see that that frequency says 909 Hertz, and it should be 1 kilohertz. So 1 kilohertz test tone. But we'll take it out because it's more accurate if you do it on a 3 kilohertz. I've got 3 kilohertz on the other side. We've got our speed controller. Oh, that don't sound very. What the hell is going on there? Oh, that's a motor squeal. Right. That is definitely a motor squeal. Ooh, not nice that. Can I? What I've done now is just put a little drop of lubricant into the motor. I'm letting it go back. The motor is behind, so I'm letting it go back. that motor was actually, I was about to adjust it. It's not actually bad, it's actually running slow. And you see it's now 2.8, 2.9. It's 3.0. It's fluctuating between 3.01 and 2.99. I think that's as close as I'm going to get to 3 kilohertz. Now I could dig out the old ferrograph and put it on a wow and flutter, but I think because of that flywheel, I think that flywheel's so you can now just see 3.0 on the scope. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a tape in and just let it run. Let it bed in. And I think that will be fixed. But not 100% happy with that. Especially that motor. That motor probably got dried up bearings as well, which is why it suddenly went funny. But I'm going to leave it playing some YouTube music. Right, I'm going to leave this running, as I said, playing some YouTube music just as a tape. Leave it running, see what it's like in an hour or so, see if it's still okay, or if it's suddenly squealing I'll hear it. I've got to go in the other room to get away from this for a bit. So, back after the cut. Right, well it's the next morning and I've left this running overnight, well not overnight, all last night until I went to bed, and then got up early this morning, switched it on, and it's been running fine. So just need to quickly just check the tape speed hasn't changed. Hopefully it should still be within the 3 kilohertz test zone, as it were. Just love the way that door shuts. Let's just get the old scope on there again. So still got the scope connected, 3 kilohertz test tone tape in, press play. 3 kilohertz, 3.01 to 3.04, so to me that's perfectly within tolerance. And I think the lubrication of the motor was just needed to get that going. Last thing we need to do now is to do a test recording. Blank tape, set counter memory, memory, record, pause, and play some YouTube music. It looks even on both channels. Sounds pretty good. That's the feed through, so let's stop that, rewind. With the memory on it should stop at 0, it does. There we are. Now we're just on the basic tape and I've got a very low input, but it's recording. Customer had it set to Dolby B, so probably on his tapes and things he'll set that up as he wants, but I only ever test it on FE. I haven't got the time to go through and test all the different types of tapes. I'm sure they're all working, but yep. So all seems to be working on record and playback. All we've got to do now is just finish boxing it up. So that's it. Hope you've enjoyed that third trip into replacing belts, etc. on the Sony 3-head tape deck. I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.